In the fall of 2013, in Fairhope, Alabama, Dane is playing with Molly and Evie. In the next room, Matthew, also known as Matt, is solemn. He, along with his wife, Nicole, are preparing how to tell their daughters that Nicole's ovarian cancer is terminal. In a feeble voice, Nicole tells Matt they have to be honest. Her friend gave her a list of words they needed to avoid. Matt asks if she remembers what the words are. Nicole says she has written them on a piece of paper. Matt reads them and looks the other way to control his tears. He wants to be strong for Nicole. She asks him to do the talking while she holds her babies close to her. Matt isn't sure he can do it. Nicole assures him he can, and Matt leaves the room to bring his girls. Nicole cries as she prepares herself to tell her little daughters that she will soon be leaving them forever. The girls come running to their mommy and hug her. Matt comes in too and sits, wondering how to start. Nicole looks at him assuringly. Dane sits outside the house on the swing. He covers his face, trying to control his emotions, as he needs to be strong for his best friends and their daughters. He closes his eyes as he hears the girls sobbing. We're then taken into a flashback. The year is 2000, New Orleans. Nicole and Matt are showering together. Nicole is a theater performer. She has a show that evening, and Matt has nothing but the sweetest things to say to her. She asks him to be nice to her friend Dane. Matt playfully points out that even though she is married to him, Dane had the audacity to ask her out on a date, and now he has to meet him and be nice to him at Nicole's request. Matt kisses her before leaving for work. Matt is a journalist. His colleagues pull a prank on him, which reminds him why he hates those people so much, even if he puts up a fake smile. Nicole meets Dane before the play. Dane confesses he is going to ask Charlotte out tonight, and Nicole shares his happiness. Dane starts doubting himself, and Nicole puts her hand on his mouth to stop him from doing so. She hates it when he does that. But it turns out that Charlotte likes somebody else, and Dane is left picking the pieces of his heart. Nicole, Matt, and Dane share a table at the after party. Once Nicole goes to get the drinks, Dane apologizes to Matt for asking Nicole out, as he didn't know she was married. Matt brushes it off, saying it is okay. They talk about their work and aspirations, and Dane tells Matt he aspires to be a stand-up comedian. But at the moment, he is working as a camera operator. Matt gets a call, and he steps out to take it. It is from Rick Bragg from the New York Times. He tells him he liked one of Matt's articles and asks him to visit his office in Atlanta. Matt comes in and starts telling Nicole about the call but faints in the middle of it. Dane asks what is happening, and Nicole says Matt faints when he is too excited or panicked. After he feels a bit better, Matt drives to Atlanta to the Times office. The scene then shifts to the year 2012. Dane works as a manager at a sports equipment shop. He is tallying the accounts when he hears a knock on the glass door. It is Kat, Dane's new romantic partner. Dane is visiting Nicole and Matt to take care of their daughters. Nicole has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer, and Matt has been taking care of her alone for 6 months. He is tired and fainted twice in the hospital during their last checkup. He needs help, and Dane has volunteered to do so. Dane drives to Fairhope and meets Charlotte, who is taking care of the girls. Now that he is here, she wishes him Merry Christmas and leaves. Their pet dog is sick. Dane drops the girls at another friend's Christmas party and takes the dog to the vet. He calls Matt, who is in the hospital, to let him know that the vet thinks they need to put the dog down because she has cancer. Matt can't believe this is happening, and his phone drops from his hand. After they relieve the dog of her pain, Dane comes back home with some groceries. The house is in a mess, the Christmas decorations lie around, and the fridge is empty. There are piles of clothes covering every inch of the floor and unending dirty dishes. Dane starts cleaning, washes the dishes, does the laundry, makes the girls' bed, and once he is done, he sleeps on the couch. Dane takes the girls to meet their mom in the hospital. Nicole is ecstatic to see her lovely babies and her best friend. While the girls spend time with their mom, Dane tells Matt he hasn't told the girls about their dog. Dane offers to stay longer to help Matt take care of Nicole. Soon Nicole comes back home. Molly and Evie decorated the room for their mother. Dane starts living with them, and in the morning, while making sandwiches, he asks Molly what kind of sandwiches Matt makes. Molly confesses Matt hasn't made any breakfast in a long time, and Molly has to do it. She even cooks dinner for Evie. Dane feels terrible for the little girl, so he says he'll be taking some of the burdens off her and cooks them a sandwich. He even asks the girls to call him Grandma Dane. He drives the girls to school. The girls seem to love Dane. Many friends come forward to support Nicole and her family. They cook a little extra so Dane can rest too. He is ever so smiling in front of the kids and never once lets them feel down. But once in a while, he shows the sadness he's carrying within, the reality of what his two best friends are going through. Dane carries his long-distance relationship with Kat and video calls her whenever he gets time. In a flashback, the movie takes us to the summer of 2008. Matt is now working closely with the military and is currently in Pakistan. He video calls Nicole and tells her that he'll soon be leaving for Libya. Nicole is upset with Matt because he decided to take up another assignment without first talking to her. She is alone in Fairhope, taking care of her little daughters. Matt is irritated as it has been a long day, and he cannot handle Nicole being upset. They end the call on a sour note. The distance between them is putting a strain on their relationship. Matt and his colleague, Elizabeth, who is also on tour with him, are drinking and talking about their life. After a couple of drinks, they call it a night, and Elizabeth hints to Matt to come to her room. She likes Matt and thinks they can have a little fun since they have been away from their family for a long time now. But Matt turns her down and maintains his respect towards his marriage and Nicole. A pregnant Charlotte just moved to Fairhope, and Nicole takes her out on a girls' day out on the beach. Nicole also introduces her to her friends in Fairhope. Dane performs stand-up comedy in front of Nicole, who holds a flashlight above her head for the effects on the makeshift stage. After Dane is done telling his jokes, Nicole and Dane sit to talk over a couple of beers. Nicole confides in Dane and tells him she feels she has married a war correspondent, not a journalist. Dane shares that he broke up with his last girlfriend, but he has found a new girl he is interested in. Her name is Kat, and she is a baker. He will soon be asking her out. Matt is finally back, and Dane goes to pick him up from the airport. They go to a fair, but Matt gets angry at Molly for not taking care of her little sister. He starts yelling at her, but Nicole comes and shushes him. She takes her daughters away, and Dane sticks with Matt to calm him down. He advises him to let it go, and Matt retorts that he doesn't need advice from Dane. They take jibes at each other, no one taking offense initially till they start mocking each other on a personal level. They end up cursing each other. It's the year 2013. It has been 1 year since Nicole was diagnosed with that awful disease. Dane helps Matt pick up groceries. Nicole hasn't disclosed her illness to any of her family members or their daughters. Nicole would put on a blonde wig and jump around like her cheery self to avoid suspicion. Kat is visiting Dane. Kat catches him up with what's going on back home in New Orleans. She asks about his plan to get a permanent job once he comes back. It baffles Dane as he has a permanent position at Redbeard's, where he works. Kat assumed he was not going to work there for his entire life. Dane tries to ease the situation by saying they'll talk about it some other time, but Kat questions him if there is going to be another time. She is upset with compromising on their relationship. Dane had said he'd be in Fairhope for a few weeks, and then he'll come back. He did come back to his home but only to get more things and leave for Fairhope. Dane tries to explain that he is needed here by his two best friends and their daughters. He can't leave them alone in their tough times. Kat gets upset that he left his entire life, job, and girlfriend to be here for his friends who have their families living close by. But Dane keeps down his foot, saying he is supposed to be there for them. Their conversation turns into an argument. Dane and Kat break up. Dane returns to Matt's house. Nicole asks about Kat, and he says she has gone back to New Orleans because she has an early bakery opening the following day. They ask him what really is the matter because they know him all too well to know when he's lying. Dane tells them that Kat is looking for more in their commitment, and he is still determining their relationship. Nicole and Matt try to talk to him, but he stomps to his room like a teenager. Suddenly, Nicole gets sick at night, and the girls panic asking what happened to their mom. Matt doesn't want his daughters to see their mom like this and loses his temper. Dane jumps in and calms the girls down while Matt takes Nicole to the hospital. The next morning they go to the hospital. Molly is upset with her dad for yelling at her. Matt apologizes profoundly. Their conversation is interrupted by the doctor, who calls Matt to talk to him. When Matt leaves, Dane asks why Molly is so hard on her dad. Molly feels that her dad hasn't been around that much, and now their mom is sick too. Dane tries to placate but gets elbowed in the ribs by Molly. Dane pretends to be hurt and whimpers that Molly broke him, which makes Evie laugh, and Molly tries hard to suppress her laughter. The doctor tells Matt the emergency surgery went okay, but cancer has spread everywhere. It has become terminal. The doctor doesn't give a timeline, but Matt says he has to tell about Nicole's condition to their daughters and has to prepare them. The doctor gives him 6 months. The doctor also adds that things are going to get very difficult for him as the combination of Nicole's condition and the medicines may lead to confusion and anger in Nicole, and she may lash out. He then gives Matt a number of a nurse Faith Prout, saying if things get too hard for him to handle, Faith can help him. Molly and Evie come to meet Nicole in her room. Matt has told Nicole what the doctor said, and they are crying when the girls enter. Nicole hugs them. She knows they're scared. She asks them to close their eyes and tells them they need to close their eyes whenever they are scared, and they'll find her right in front of them. The whole family hugs, and Nicole cries as she will soon leave them all. She looks at Dane, who makes out from the way she talked to Molly and Evie that something is wrong. Nicole takes in the morning sun and goes for a walk. She wants to do it all before her health deteriorates any further. Nicole, Matt, and Dane sit together, and Nicole decides not to tell her girls about her condition till her quality of life declines significantly. She wishes to make a bucket list of things she wants to do, like finish reading the girls the Lord of the Rings books. She would also like to reread all her favorite books and write letters to the girls for certain milestones in their lives, just in case they want an advice at that particular time of their lives. She continues adding to the list that she wants blue hair, to go to New York one last time and see Les Mis, and to be Grand Marshal. Lastly, she wants to sing with Katy Perry. Matt says all are doable except for singing with Katy Perry. After Nicole dyes her hair blue, Dane jumps in and wants his hair to be blue too. Nicole and the girls help him with that. Matt calls all the other places to get an early reservation, telling them his wife has only a couple of days left to live. He and Dane succeed in getting all the necessary reservations on compassionate grounds. One evening, Nicole suddenly wakes Matt, who is dozing on the couch, and says she wants to get in the historic fountain. She then asks Dane to get everybody. The girls, Dane and Nicole, play in the fountain while Matt and her friends and family cheer. Nicole reads to her girls in different accents, making her daughters laugh. During the nights, she writes letters to her daughters and makes Matt read them before going to bed. In the coming days, they cross out all the items on the bucket list. One evening, Matt, Dane, and the girls are sitting in the living room, laughing and talking. Nicole sees them from a distance and cries, as she is going to miss spending her life with Matt and seeing her girls grow up. She would miss Dane settling down. She didn't want to go so early, but fate had something else planned for her. Matt and Nicole are hosting a party in 2010. Matt is home after a long trip. Nicole has invited all her friends from the theater, including Peter, the new director at the theater. Nicole receives him and his wife Barbara at the door. She cannot stop praising Peter. At the dinner table, Aaron badmouths Dane and makes fun of his monotonous life. Charlotte tries to stop him from saying too much, and Nicole and Matt take Dane's side. Dane is in the store sitting in deep thought. It is time to close, and Dane cannot bring himself to be content with where he is in life. He feels aimless and a failure. While sitting with his family, he is unhappy because his peers have moved on in their lives and are doing much better. He feels suffocated, so he walks out of the house to get some fresh air. One day, having had enough of the bottled-up feelings, he packs up his things and leaves. His brother meets him outside and asks him where he is going. Dane doesn't know yet, but he is not going to stay in his parents' basement his entire life. So he hops on the next plane without telling anyone where he is going. He decides to backpack to the Grand Canyon all alone. He is folding his tent after spending the night there. Another hiker, Teresa, comes to meet him. She insists he accompanies her, and they hike together. They talk about their hiking journey, and Dane tells her he has been hiking for 2 months. Teresa asks if somebody back at his home knows where he is. Matt and Nicole are getting ready to sleep. Nicole shares Charlotte thinks Aaron is having an affair. Aaron has been in contact with a woman named Tina from Arizona, but it was all online via emails, and nothing happened. Nicole further says that if they didn't have any kids, then things would have been different. But they are parents, and Charlotte wants to make it work for the sake of their kids. Matt listens to it and then goes straight to bed. He asks her to remind him to call Dane the other day. Dane is lying in his tent when Teresa calls him. He pretends to be asleep but wakes up when Teresa comes to his tent. She has bought dinner for him. He thanks her. Teresa confesses that she asked him to hike with her because she saw him hiking alone for the past few days. She tells him that she went hiking alone to Zion 6 years ago. She didn't have reason to live, so she had gone alone to put an end to her life. But she didn't go through with the plan, and now she is in a much better place. She has a lovely family and a beautiful daughter. She continues that things change for good and then gives him her phone number. She tells him to call her whenever he wants to speak with anyone. She bids him goodnight, leaving Dane speechless. The next day, early morning, Dane goes back to his car and keeps his belongings in the trunk. He stands facing the canyon for some time and then returns to his car. He checks his phone, and there is a voice message from Matt, Nicole, and the girls. Matt says it has been a long time since they last spoke, and they wanted to check on him. Nicole, Molly, and Evie call him funny names and say they miss him. Dane breaks down after listening to his dearest friends. He listens to the voicemail once again and chuckles. The message and Teresa's words have helped him come out of the dark place he was in, and he drives back to them. Halloween of 2013 was not as happy as others. Molly and Evie had come to show Nicole their dresses, and Nicole showered them with compliments and love. They enjoy giving treats to all the visitors. Charlotte talks to Matt in the kitchen about the falling friends in their group. Matt says Charlotte and Dawn will be the only friends they'll be left with in the end. Matt has some packages delivered. Nicole keeps ordering things because she wants her family to be prepared after she is gone. Aaron comes to meet him and asks about Dane. He is still condescending, but Matt comes up with a spicy comeback which is enough to shut Aaron for the rest of the evening. Matt takes care of Nicole, from bathing her to giving her medicines. One evening, after he has bathed her, he massages Nicole's hands with a lotion. Nicole looks at herself in the mirror and says how ugly she has become. People don't look at her when they talk to her. Matt comforts her by embracing her. He lightens the mood by talking about the first time they met. Matt had said that Nicole was the most beautiful woman he had ever met, and he says the same words again to her as she cries, thinking about all the good times and now what life has come to. It is Christmas, and Molly and Evie are setting up the lights for the decoration. Nicole says it is time for another lesson, and the girls protest a little because they find learning to do chores boring. But Nicole wants the girls to know how to do all things before she is gone. While teaching them to iron, Nicole accidentally hurts Molly with the hot iron. Dane helps Molly with running the cold water on the injury while Matt checks on Nicole. That night, Nicole decides to tell the girls about her illness. Molly and Evie are playing with Dane when Matt comes to call them. The girls sit with their mom while Matt tells them that they had a long talk with the doctor, and the doctor told them that mommy is going to pass away. Hearing this, the girls start wailing. They cannot accept their mom gone forever. Nicole says it is okay. She wants her daughters to be mentally prepared for what is coming. Dane cries silently as he hears the girls wailing from inside the house. Somewhere in the winter of 2010, Nicole's play had just got over, and Matt, along with the girls, came to see Nicole in the green room. Nicole is talking to Peter, looking somewhat tense. Peter greets Matt and the girls before leaving the room. The girls bring flowers for their mom. They loved the theater drama. Matt is getting ready to leave early morning. He is printing his boarding pass when he sees Nicole's email. It reads, "He's too much of a coward to talk to me." He goes to his bedroom and wakes Nicole up. He then asks what did she mean by that. Nicole gets serious, and she tries to talk, but she can't seem to find the right words. She says she developed a crush on someone, and Matt figures it must be Peter from the theater. She says they kissed, but Matt doesn't believe her, because he saw her crying last night and now this email. He finds out Nicole has been cheating on him, and Nicole tries to blame him for disappearing on her for months together. He gets furious and leaves. Nicole tries to stop him, but he doesn't listen to her and leaves her crying out of guilt. She's getting the girls ready after the morning confrontation. Matt didn't go because he is enraged at the fact that Nicole couldn't resist sleeping with an older man while he was not there. He starts breaking the bottles and leaves after taking out his rage. Nicole asks her daughters to stay upstairs and cleans the mess made by Matt. She cries as she picks up the shards of glass. Matt moves out to a motel and is in the bathroom, when a worried Dane bangs on his door after learning what happened. Dane keeps calling and banging even after Matt says he is on the toilet. Dane finally breaks open the door and realizes Matt is indeed on the toilet. He says he'll fix the door as he has a screwdriver in his car. The two friends sit in silence and watch a movie. Later, Dane comes to Nicole's house to take Molly and Evie for ice cream, so that Matt and Nicole can talk things through. Matt asks if she loves him, and she says yes. He doesn't know how it is going to work out, but he's willing to try. They work to mend their relationship thereafter. Nicole has been sick for 2 years now. It is the summer of 2014, and Dane and Matt have organized a book club for Nicole. Matt is working on his article about Nicole. Only 2 people show up. Dane asks Matt to get some sandwiches for the book club as Charlotte was supposed to bring them, but her daughter got strep throat, and then 2 more friends canceled. Matt drives to get the sandwiches and sees Charlotte and the 2 other friends in a park, enjoying summer with their kids. He feels disheartened how their own friends have turned their backs on Nicole. Matt has confiscated Nicole's phone because she's posting mean things about her friends. Nicole is irritated and fights with Matt like a spoiled kid. She calls her friends liars and fake. She is upset because nobody has come to see her lately. She smashes her phone to the ground and starts smacking Matt as he tries to collect the pieces of the phone. Dane comes to stop Nicole. She is irritable because of the medication. She accuses Matt and Dane of conspiring against her by taking her phone, computer, and her credit cards. She further accuses them of wanting to completely delete her. She hurls some more curses before leaving. Things are not easy for the girls either. Matt is 15 minutes late to pick up Molly. Molly is upset, but Matt says they might as well get used to doing things on their own. But Molly yells at him, saying she fears she'll be stuck with him after her mom is gone. Matt is left hurt by the cracks appearing in his relationship with his daughter. They both cry silently on their drive back home. One day, Dane comes into Matt's room and asks him to pack his bags. He is taking Matt on a trip and has asked Nicole's parents to come for the weekend to take care of her. He asserts Matt needs a break. They go on a hike and laugh about many things. They're sitting beside the river when they see a group of girls at a distance. Matt says they need to tell the girls 2 men are there so they don't skinny dip, not knowing there are men around. The girls ask them to join them in swinging the rope. Matt stays in his place, but Dane goes and has fun swinging and jumping into the river. Nicole soon starts losing energy. Dane has to help Matt to clean Nicole. She has started to hallucinate, and Matt realizes he is not equipped to take care of Nicole now that her health has deteriorated. He calls the hospice nurse, Faith Prout, to take over from here. Faith comes with a fresh energy that was missing in their lives for a long time. She greets Matt and Dane and then analyzes Nicole. Once she's done, she empathizes with Matt as he and Dane have been taking care of Nicole in this condition all by themselves. She advises him that Nicole needs to be on antipsychotics. Faith promises to be with the family till the end. Nicole now sleeps for most of the day. Matt lays down next to her and remembers all the good times they have had together. Dane makes sleeping Nicole listen to a song he actually likes. The girls decorate their mother's room with drawings and stickers. The days go by, and Nicole is surrounded by her loved ones, all praying for her. One day, Faith tells Matt about Nicole's slowing heart rate. She asks him to send the girls away. Charlotte takes the girls to her home. Matt drives Nicole, Dane, and Faith to the beach. They want Nicole to see one last sunrise. Nicole opens her eyes and sees the birds flying. A smile spreads on her face. Once back home, Nicole's heart rate drops. Matt has fallen asleep. Faith checks Nicole's heart rate and asks Dane to wake Matt up. She tells them Nicole breathed her last breath, and she peacefully passed in her sleep surrounded by 2 men who loved her dearly. After the funeral, Dane goes to his room to be alone. Matt stays with his girls. After everybody sleeps, Matt opens the box, which has all the letters Nicole wrote for her daughters, and cries as he realizes he won't see her ever again. The coming days are difficult for Dane as he locks himself in his room and cries. Matt is now taking care of the girls all alone. It is now his turn to take care of Dane, who is grieving alone. Christmas and New Year come and go. Matt also writes an article, The Friend, dedicated to Dane. Once he is done writing, he prints a copy and gives it to Dane by sliding it from under the door. Matt also gives Molly and Evie the letters from their mom. Soon the school reopens, and Matt goes to drop off the girls. Meanwhile, Dane finally decides to get out of bed in the grieving phase and cleans up the room. He then packs his things and decides to go back home after dedicating 14 months of his life to his best friends. He leaves a note for Dane and leaves, but Matt sees him and goes to talk to him. Matt asks him where he's going, and Dane tells him he's going back to New Orleans. Matt is barely able to control his tears when he hugs Dane. He says thank you doesn't do it for what he has done for Matt and his family. Matt expresses his gratitude for his friend via the article. He thought he'd be writing about Nicole but somehow ended up writing about Dane, his best friend, who turned out to be his biggest support, and the epitome of the very definition of a true friend. In 2015, Matt's article The Friend won the National Magazine Award and was published by Esquire magazine. Matt stayed in Fairhope with his daughters in the house he and Nicole built. Dane and Matt are still close friends. Dane is now married and resides in New Orleans.